It's 5 o'clock and you're off the Cockle Beast Guy. And today we're excited to have our guest, Tanner Morrell. Guys, if you have ever shot a bow into a target, there's more than likely you have seen the Morrell targets. These guys have been around since the 80s, okay? Well established. And today Tanner is going to explain to us the different types of targets and what they're used for and what kind of technology goes into these archery targets. Guys, it's pretty interesting. I mean, it's a little bit more than just a bag full of sheets or something, guys. So anyway, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and we're going to get right into it. So Tanner, man, thank you for being here today.
Absolutely, man.
So what I want to know is, how did Morrell originally get started? Because, you know, everybody knows, you know, all the different targets and, you know, there's just tons of options out there. But what is so special about Morrell and where did it start from?
So, I mean, it started from Dad. I think, he told me a story a long time ago, way before I was even there, probably 6 years before I was there, alive on this planet. 82, he came up with a design, and it was a bag target that had a floating center in it. And it hasn't been done before, usually.
A floating center?
A floating center.
What's that?
So, before, I think Delta McKenzie had the first bags. Or not Delta McKenzie. At the time, it was Delta, before they were merged together with Delta McKenzie.
I see, yeah.
So they had just a bag. It was a burlap sack, and then they would just stuff stuff in it.
Right,
Just
yeah, and you always
material.
pull out.
Always
pull out like a foot of like.
There's so many videos out there
Yeah.
of just people just like, let's see what's in this target,
Mhm.
and it's fabric. And here, truth be told, like all bag targets are recyclable material.
Right.
Period.
That's good.
I mean, bag target wise, if you don't do that, then you're going to pay $100+ for a bag target. And who's going to pay $100+ for a bag target?
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
So Delta had like a burlap sack, and they were just throwing stuff in it, throwing different materials in it. And Dad was getting all these pass-throughs when he was shooting into them. And he came up with, well, what if I made like some sort of center threshold to where the arrow would have to pass through that had a lot of stopping power. So that's where a burlap floating center came from. And he built a technique to hold a burlap sack, and then you would stuff material on both sides of that burlap sack to hold it together to give that bag integrity.
Right.
And he also put in a cardboard frame around the target to give it, you know, shape, form, so you could stand it up and shoot it and not fall over.
Right.
So that just hasn't been done yet. And then he did that, and he worked on prototypes for several years, and he got his first break around 1986, and we had our first customer.
Guys, if you made it this far, like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. It helps us out tremendously, and it helps us push to get more things in the gear shop, more content up. And if you like something or you want us to do something, drop a comment down below. All right, we'll get back into it.
That first customer was like a springboard that launched Morrell Manufacturing Incorporated.
Yeah.
And that customer happens to be Walmart. And Walmart, you know, being the big volume seeker that they are,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can see where that just launched us.
Y'all are seeing them everywhere.
Yeah.
So how do you guys ramp up from startup to dealing with somebody like Walmart?
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I want to know. I mean, that's tough.
We are in Alma, so that's an hour away from the headquarters of Walmart. So naturally, he just built this prototype. He ended up, honestly, I don't know how he got a meeting. In the beginning, he was partnered with a couple people, a couple investors, and then somehow that broke away. I don't even know the full story. That was way before my time, but
yeah, it's crazy to just be like, all right, your first big like customer is like Walmart. Like, wow.
Yeah.
How did your dad even get a deal like that with Walmart?
So I think I don't know how he got the meeting, but he ended up getting a meeting. It could have been from the investors. I think they may have had
That makes
insight.
sense.
Yeah.
And they got a meeting, and they just loved the product because it solved a need.
So I guess there was a need for this.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
And it probably was like it's one of them deals too, where it's like, if everybody is the newest thing, it's the first of its kind.
Right.
So of course Walmart was probably eager to grab that.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
So how were y'all producing? Like, were y'all at the very beginning? I mean, was it like a thing where he was building 1, 2, 3 a week, and then it turned into like now he has to do 200?
Well, that's where the investors came in. So doing with Walmart, he had to come up with several hundred I don't know for sure that story as far
I'm
as
sure it was a big order
number-wise.
though.
Yeah, it was a big initial order, and they always test the market before they take a full load and see if you can actually provide the targets. But it's actually a funny story he was telling me the other day. It's just like in startups, you have these initial like problem solving things where you go into business, you don't really know what to expect, but you're going to go full force. And that's
right.
my dad. Like he will jump into projects, and he'll just go full bore. And so he got this order, and then he ends up sending and I don't know if he's going to let me tell him the story, but I'm going to tell it anyway. He jumps into making all these targets, and he ships them the targets Walmart on, freight, and he doesn't put any labels on them. He just ships them the products. So he found out that he needed to put labels on it. So they had to drive to the nearest distribution center, the nearest Walmart distribution center, and they had to offload the trucks.
And then put labels on there.
Labels on them there.
Oh yeah, I mean,
dude, that's totally something we would do.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That was the first order, but
he learned a lesson.
Yeah. He was a brick mason before.
Oh really?
So he was working that full time, and he was doing this as kind of a side gig at the time until it really picked up.
And then I imagine like once you got the Walmart deal and you're making hundreds of them, I'm sure he's like, okay, we have to fully invest in this. It's definitely taking off.
Absolutely.
At that point, you're burning your ships.
So how'd you come about? I mean, obviously I know it's your dad, but how'd you become part of the business?
So I've always kind of been in the business. When I was a teenager, I was going to the trade shows, as a sales representative, and I grew up in the plants. Back in the day, I used to be a baseball player, and we had a drop net batting cage where you just pull a chain and the whole thing would drop down. It was right in the middle of the plant, and all the workers were like, what is that?
That's so funny, dude. This sounds just like me, doesn't it? It's the same origin story.
It's amazing.
It is.
It's amazing.
It is.
Y'all two got so much in common. It's really crazy.
You used to run around the plant and just drive DJ crazy. DJ's plant manager here.
Yeah.
So I used to run around and just, mess with DJ all the time. And he was always stressed out, because you got a kid running around the factory.
Oh, yeah.
So
on a skateboard.
Or whatever I was riding. I was riding something all the time.
Yeah.
Skateboard, you board?
Used to. I know more. I'm out of shape now.
Yeah.
I just try to boat in, shoot ducks.
Out of shape, man. You're 24. Everybody's in shape.
I know, man. You gotta have. Listen, I'd rip a groin so fast skateboarding. I guarantee you.
You just quit playing baseball, man.
I ain't very flexible either.
Yeah, but it's amazing to hear your story. So what? I mean, so your dad started a company. You started building these targets. There was a need for this target because obviously there wasn't no targets out there. So. I mean, did your dad shoot? Was he a hunter?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So he was
absolutely.
So he loved shooting bows.
Before the targets, he had like several different prototypes of other products. He's been an innovationist ever since.
Yeah.
He always hunted. He had a little bow rest, so when you're standing in the tree stand, you could have something to set your bow on. I think that was his first.
So he was always trying to come up with something.
Yeah, he was always trying to
make it better.
Was always going. I mean, today it's still going. Like there's a million projects.
Does it get on your nerves? Does it get on your nerves sometimes?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, because right now you're focused on like things you think you feel are important at the moment, or whatever.
Oh yeah.
He comes rolling in here with an idea, and you're just like, that's way left field, dude.
Yeah.
Like right now, really.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. We do have.
That's exactly how it is. Like, you really think we need to mess with that?
So do you get mad at your dad because he just never stops and he bugs the crap out of you all the time?
I would confirm that.
Yeah,
I would confirm that.
He bothers me all the time. I'm like, I think that's irrelevant to what we.
Well, your dad probably thinks nothing is good enough.
Right.
I don't either.
Right.
And you guys are just like, it's cool. It'll work out, Dad.
Yeah. Well, I want to improve everything. He's the one that's coming up with all these new ideas, new innovations, new things to do.
Right.
So like,
but it takes both of y'all to make a company successful.
Y'all argue. Let me ask you this: y'all go back, y'all argue a bunch, like back and forth.
I feel
disagreements ever.
I would say. What do you think?
Well, I agree. I'd say good. I know we bump heads, man. Like, cool.
Especially in the mornings, man.
Man, how could you not?
Yeah.
How could you not?
We can't really talk to each other a whole lot before 7:30 in the morning. We
Well,
just get into
I got this idea and he has this idea and we clash and he tells me how stupid I am and I'm like, dude, I've been doing this a lot longer than you. Then it gets into a little pissing match. I'm sure.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. I mean, my gosh, man, this is typical.
I really feel like everybody wakes up in the morning with what they on their mind and what they think is important for the day.
Yeah.
We all agree. I mean, you wake up, you're like, this is important for the day. I got to take care of this. Well, sometimes we don't wake up with the same thing in our minds. So that's where the problem comes in.
Well, I know, but you just got to work it out in the manufacturing process. We work together just like y'all do.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you deal with it at the plant when you guys are building these targets and your dad has a role and you have a role? So how does that work out?
I mean, it works out great. I kind of what I do there is basically I jump into departments and I look for the best improvement, best value that we could do, best bang for the buck, so to speak, on an investment. And like right now, currently I'm in the sales and we're trying to come up with a new CRM to use for our sales team because we really need it, not just for us, but for the customer's base. So what's that? Explain that to us. It's a customer relationship management software. Basically it keeps track of conversations that you have with customers. It's a way to send notifications of, hey, remember to call this person. They wanted you to call them.
Right. So,
and that's important, man. We're customer driven.
Yes, we are too.
Absolutely. Customers are always right. We've always ran it that way.
Does it feel like it's gotten so big that it's harder to manage and make sure that, every customer's taken care of?
That's where the improvements come from.
Right.
Yeah. We're going to have to, I think we're on a verge, and I don't think it's just our industry. I think it's every industry. In order to keep up, we're going to have to start innovating with technology.
Yeah.
Right, I agree with you.
I mean, the old forms of shuffling papers around and just hiring more people isn't going to work because we have to get all of the price points down. In order to do that, we have to start with innovations.
Right.
And innovations will drive that.
That's right. So how many targets a year do you build? I mean,
and before that, let's talk about what you offer. Let's talk about what all kinds of different targets you offer for different things.
Yeah. Let's talk. That's a good subject. So there's 4 categories of targets.
Right.
Number 1, bag targets. That's about probably the oldest form.
That's going to be the inexpensive targets.
That'll be your value based.
Yeah.
Back of the truck, running gun.
Yeah.
Throw it out.
Yeah. And then you have a solid state poured foam, which is just a foam target. The third is probably 3D targets.
That's my favorite right there.
That's everybody's favorite just because it's real.
It's real.
It's real.
It's closer
Everybody
to being
loves
real.
shooting it, but it's the most expensive thing that you can buy for a target. So
yeah.
And it's always going to be that way. But the fourth one is more of like a conventional base, like a layered foam style target that has like components that kind of make it work, or like a compression target that we have, the BOA target. It's kind of has, it's not a bag and it's not foam.
Right. So what would you say your most popular target is? Like,
It's yellow jacket.
Really?
For sure.
100%.
100%.
Just the volume target.
But, granted, yellow jacket's a line. We have several different products inside of yellow jacket, but probably our number one SKU is the YJ425. And when we put 425, we're different from a lot of our competitors because when we put 425, that's a conservative effort. It's not. It's a recommendation. Can it handle more than that? Hell yeah.
That's the way we do. We derate things too, same way.
Yeah.
You almost have to.
Yeah.
Way.
We rather be on that side of the things and get somebody said, hey, it stops it, because at the end of the day, it's a target.
Yeah.
Targets have movable parts in them, especially bag target. All bag targets. So if you look at bag targets, there's material, there's stuffing material.
So what's this target right here?
That's a kinetic. So what's unique about that target is that there are 2 floating centers.
2 floating centers. What do you mean by floating? Like, it's just floating?
What we're saying is basically they have, like the way you explained earlier, is burlap in the middle of it, and it's got layers of material around it, so that there's like a core kind of.
Yeah, it's like a core.
Okay, all right.
So that one's got 2. So
that's got 2.
What would be the
and
improvement of having 2 over 1?
It's just more stopping power.
I got you. Like
More stopping power and longevity.
Yeah, it says any bow. I got you. So each target's rated for a compound or a crossbow or.
Dude, that target right there.
Yeah.
Fire a missile at it.
Oh, it's a real deal.
Dude,
Okay,
we test everything. Every one of our products we test before we put it on
your
the
dad's
market.
gonna get pissed when the people start blowing up targets with missiles.
Well,
They're like, hey.
He said blow missile. He didn't say
Yeah.
like it would like. He didn't say nothing about like exactly what the results will be.
Okay.
yeah.
Test
That's
is
what's
on
like.
risk.
Okay, that's not under our warranty.
So that's a heavy duty, just like workhorse right there.
That is that's 2 floating centers of burlap and 2 material layers, or not 2, 3 material layers. It's usually 2 material layers and 1 layer of burlap.
So that's kind of like our DBST.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
And the thing with that is nobody has done that yet, and I'm trying to work on a patent for that. But we've tested everything in our line. That's outperformed everything we've ever shot at. And I'm not just talking about
So what makes
our
it-
brand. I'm talking about every brand.
So when you design a target, what are you trying to
That's the same.
like? You have a problem with the target. You're trying to make something better of a target. So I mean, what are you guys looking for? The ease of pulling the arrow out, the amount of penetration. I mean, what are you looking for when you build the target?
I think it would be good just to talk about how we test.
Okay.
Because there's probably 3 different things that we test that's pretty much amounts to everything you just said.
Okay.
So when we test, we go about 15 yards out because we don't want to do 20. We want to do a little bit closer because it penetrates a little bit harder just to
be
most
safe.
Most people,
Yeah, don't
what do you
believe in
shoot? What do you shoot at when you first shoot a bow?
20 yards.
20
yards.
20 yards is my
Everybody
start.
does 20 yards. That's why we do 15. We want a little bit more penetration just
Yeah.
to be safe. Remember, we do that conservative effort. Pretty
Right.
much with
Yeah, you want to be
everything.
on that side of the line.
Right,
I
right,
understand
right.
completely what you're saying.
So we stand about 15 yards back. We draw a circle about the size of a nickel.
Yeah.
And let me go back to we had an option to where we could build a machine and shoot the exact same point. Okay. Peterson's, they had a machine that would shoot an arrow in the exact same point every single time. There's a reason we don't want to do that. I want to ask you something. When was the last time you shot the same point 10 shots in a row?
Never.
And be honest.
No,
Never.
never.
Nobody. I don't care how good you
I
are.
Robin Hood one arrow in my lifetime.
Exactly.
You know.
So we don't want to do the testing that way. That's why we draw a circle, and that's about
It's more
average.
real-
Sometimes it's a good quarter.
It's more realistic.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean-
more realistic.
I mean, you guys probably would never build a target good enough if you just shot the same spot every time. I mean, it's just common sense.
I mean,
right?
10 times
Right.
in a row.
You know,
That's just not. It's
Very
not.
unlikely.
It's not a realistic.
it's
test.
not a realistic test, right?
Right.
It's,
So
it's not
we
natural.
draw the circle. So if it hits the line, it counts. So you stand at 15 yards, and then we typically use the same setup. But bows do change. We don't use the same setup over a decade. You know, we gotta fluctuate the time. So we write down the arrows, and this is a big log that we have. We have one guy, man, he should be a pro. Like he works for us. He's an assistant plant manager, and he
He can
is
sling them, huh?
or yeah, dude. He's
He's
accurate.
good. He's grouping.
Yeah, he's
Sub
good.
him away kind of guy.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he's good.
Mm-hmm.
But he's basically our tester, and we have a log where he'll write down what bow he used, the FPS that he's shooting, and the arrows, and then how many shots. The first category that we look at is the PT count, and that stands for poke through. Okay, so when an arrow, the point where the arrow pokes through the back of the target, we write that number down. Okay. And then we go to what's most important is the FF count. The FF count is the fletching friction count.
Mm.
And that's
I
the
see
most
that.
important. And it's the most important because that's when people start getting pissed off.
Yeah, you start defletching all your arrows.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not
who
talking about-
wants that? Nobody wants
Nobody.
that.
Okay, so that's what you don't want to do in a target business.
Right.
Okay,
You
gotcha.
want a high FF count.
I got you.
Now,
I
the
got you.
PT count, it can be low.
Yeah.
That's not important. What's important is the FF count. It's just cool to know the PT count, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
you want to stop the arrow before it gets to the fletchings.
yeah,
Okay.
and that's probably the most important thing. The second most important thing is going to be the pull, the ease of arrow removal.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Less friction
honestly,
on the
like
arrow.
if you did a survey, it would probably be like 55-60% say I want longevity out of my target, and then the other 45% want ease of arrow removal.
Just pull it
Yeah.
out.
So
man.
it's neck and neck.
So there's a lot of factors that go into building targets. You want one that you could pull arrows out easy. Then you got some that targets last longer. Then you got those customers you just can't make happy. Is the target's too hard to pull?
That's gonna
Don't
exist.
last long enough.
They'll
Every industry-
compare. They'll say, "Well, I wish this target could pull out this easy, but also be and just you can't combine all the attributes." It seems
Do
like.
you have
Right.
problems with customer service? I mean, people actually call you complaining about how hard it is to pull arrows. out
Oh
of target?
yeah.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh my god!
Mm.
Absolutely.
Never once ever crossed my mind.
Never. I never would have ever thought to call
No.
the target manufacturer
Never.
and gripe because my hands are sore because I shot.
I just go
200
get one of
arrows
those
in the last 10
rubber
days.
things and grab my arrow and pull it out. I never thought that was even an option.
So let me ask you this.
It's
Okay,
crazy.
so talking about innovation in the target industry, so y'all been making targets for a long time. You got different kinds, 3D, the bags. There's a good variety of targets out there now. So when you're going into we need something new. All right, how can we change the game? Are you more directing that into maybe convenience? Like how can we make it more convenient for people to where more people would get this because it's just easy? Or are you looking for like which way are y'all going with making improvements?
That's
here?
awesome that you say convenience, because the last new product that we came out with was based off of convenience, and it's that target.
Which
The
target?
Mod Pro.
Okay. What makes it?
So last year I was piddling around with, I wanted to make an easy way to put a target face on our existing targets and switch them out. And
you talking about like the bag? You talking about the bag?
just the image. I got you.
yeah, so that's the target, and there's a face. If you want to scroll through that, there's one of the pictures has a face on it. Keep going, right there. So that's a face that we put on it. So I was trying to get one of those on any target that we have, and I was thinking, all right, so maybe we have just a bungee that we put up that's custom made for this stuff. And then I was talking it over with our sales manager, and he was like, "Oh man, let's just put Velcro on the side."
Oh yeah, it would be easy.
So that has one end of Velcro, and on the target itself, it has Velcro on the Mod Pro series, which it takes dude, you can set it up, take it off, and put a new one on in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, so it kind of gives you some games to play.
It does. It gives you
It changes it up a little bit.
different scenery.
Well, yeah, different scenery, but we have 7 different ones.
Yeah.
So the first one that comes with the target is a tuning and precision face. And you don't happen to have a picture of that, do you?
Yeah,
So
I've seen
you
it.
have to have the
And-
Mod Pro target to actually have these faces.
Yes.
Okay, so it is
Because there's
for that
Velcro
one
on the
product.
side.
I
Right.
got you.
Now, you could probably get some industrial Velcro and put it on your existing target and it work. But it's gonna have to be that size of target. But
Yeah, I got you.
that's the tuning and precision face. And
So how's this work?
You know,
I mean, I can't shoot that
funny
accurate.
You say that.
I can't shoot that accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could, but
well, you
But
could.
it's the thing is about it though is like they always say this, going back to the golden tip right here. Aim small, miss small.
That's right.
It don't matter if you can hit that BB right there, but you ain't gonna miss the heart.
yeah.
You might miss it by a little bit.
I've done my share of missing. Trust me. So so you got your squares and your circles and your small circles. So
All right. So
what's this all about?
yeah, so I'll just explain the whole thing. And we got all of this concept from some pros. So we basically talked to some pros and we're like, what do you want to see out of something to get you tuned up, ready to go?
Right.
And they all shoot at this cross. And the reason it's a cross is because when you step back along yardages, you can kind of see the dip and then you can bring it back in.
Are those broken by inches?
Yes.
Okay, so each square is an inch by
1
inch.
inch tuning grid.
That's genius.
Yeah. And we actually made it tan color for a purpose because it's the most visible color in the spectrum from what our survey took that could be most visible from your sight pins.
I got you.
And the reason that grid is kind of a brown color is because when you step out at a distance, it disappears.
I got
You
you.
only see it when you go up close to the target.
I got you. So you're just shooting. So you shoot at the crosshairs and.
So I mean, yeah, that's when you're doing your tuning setup.
Oh, got you.
But we put 1 3/4 inch and 1/2 inch, and that's all based off of the diameter of your sight pins.
Oh,
so
my
some people
God.
have.
So you're talking about putting.
Yeah.
You're talking about covering that dot with your dot of your sight.
Yeah. My arrow should cover that dot. That's the problem.
That's another thing too. Why do we have squares and why do we have regular circle bullseyes? Well, circle bullseyes is just traditional. People like shooting at them. But the reason we have the squares is because sometimes when you put that pin inside of that square and it's in a circle, you don't see the circle bullseye anymore. It disappears, but the square, you see the edges.
You see the four corners.
Right.
I'll be damned. So why do you have both? Why don't you just have squares?
Options.
I mean, just options?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people like shooting at circles.
I got you.
Otherwise, we just put squares on there. Really, squares is the most beneficial one.
I got you. I would say so too.
So
That's pretty neat. I ain't never seen that target.
especially if there's two people shooting on the same bag, you know,
Right.
you always got to kind of have stuff away.
What side are you going to shoot? Circles or squares, Brandon?
See, my first thought, I'd go circles, and the reason being is because, well, I guess
Yeah,
they're
I'd like
so
to hear
small.
this.
They're so small, so it really wouldn't matter, right? But like squares, it's harder to find the center of
See,
Mm-hmm.
whenever you're just floating it
Mm-hmm.
than a circle would be.
Yeah.
because it's evenly in the middle. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I would naturally aim at the circles.
You ever try and put a square in
I would
side
probably,
of a circle?
yeah, I'd probably aim for the circles too. But if he shoots first, I'm going for his knock.
That was planned,
You got lighted knocks?
dude. He set me up for that. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I'm going for his knocks.
He just set me up for that one. You must have thought that one through way before the podcast.
I'm an overthinker.
That's horrible. So do y'all do any like 3D shoots? I imagine y'all have 3D targets out there.
we sponsor a couple of them, but you know we only have that is our next area that we need to improve on is 3Ds. We have that one 3D. That's it. Now we've carried 3Ds in the past.
Is it just the deer, or are
Yeah,
y'all looking
just
at
that-
maybe
just that one? Yeah, we're looking to expand it.
like maybe a turkey?
Absolutely.
Man, I hope y'all-
Absolutely.
I hope y'all build a target don't fall apart. I mean,
Okay, so the issues I've had in the past with like 3D targets,
Yeah, you're talking about 3Ds, right?
yes.
is
Yeah, our
the
target-
joints where the legs and the bodies meet.
What do you got?
You know, it's a.
Well, we don't want to say.
Do you mind if I say it? I mean,
I don't
it
care.
doesn't matter for us.
I don't know. I don't even know what the name of it is.
It's a Glendale,
Oh yeah, it is.
and it's the joints, right?
Mhm.
So obviously, with the leverage of the body being heavier, you know, when you have the poles on the bottom,
Is it a
It's-
full rut?
yeah, it's a big one.
yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah.
It's just
And-
those body inserts that slide in the legs.
We got more duct tape
over
on it,
time, and you know they just break.
So with that design,
I do like that. That does.
Well, it has a slide on the bottom and a slide
it's
on
a slide, but it covers a lot more of the target.
top. Yeah.
So that's what creates that stability.
And is this part right here foam as well? The legs.
So the legs and the whole body is foam, but
Okay.
Is there a
The
rod going through
difference-
the leg? Is there a rod going through the leg?
no, there's not a rod going through the leg.
Because my
Out-
arrows
out-
hate that rod.
Well, I mean, it goes a certain point. I mean, you have to have
Yeah, it's some stability.
the stakes to.
I mean, if
hold
he's a
it up.
bad shooter and he hits in the hoof, you deserve to lose that arrow.
I
Don't you
mean,
agree?
yeah.
You agree? That's.
I mean, come
that's-
on.
I'm not hitting in a
I mean,
hoof.
that's you should get punished for a shot like that.
I mean, I might shoot low in the heart and shoot to the little right a little bit and get that leg right there. And it tears my arrow up.
Talking about, well, it does on other targets. It didn't on that one.
I know. I mean, it's
Obviously, that's what we need
We're-
because you're a
we're-
leg shooting.
we're just
full.
trying to tell them how to build the target.
You already built the target.
I know.
Goodness gracious.
So what's cool about that is that the actual area, the shooting area, is high roller foam, in particular.
It looks like it's a whole part too. It's not just a kill spot.
The head and the rest of the body is it's a more rigid foam.
Yeah.
So you don't really want to shoot into
I
that.
don't know.
It's just denser. So
But
basically,
you know what? When you're training, you need a little bit of punishment if you miss.
That's what I think. Like, is
Hey,
snapping arrows on the
Good answer. Good
post?
That's
answer.
how it is.
You should put that in your box.
That's right.
If you missed a
It's
kill
just-
spot,
right.
Hey, the whole rest of the body, if it ain't that square right there,
Mhm.
rectangle, it should just be, it should be so hard it just snaps your arrows,
Yeah.
breaks them right the front of them.
Yeah.
I ain't shooting that target. No way. Arrows nowadays are expensive.
They are, man.
Targets are expensive too. A good target anyway. So yeah.
So the 3Ds you're looking at getting into, are y'all doing it for the competitions and the big tournaments, or are y'all doing it more
Both.
just because people are, you see like on social media, people out there enjoying, the 3D
I mean,
shoots?
we're the largest. I can confidently say that we're the largest archery target manufacturer in the world.
I believe so.
We absolutely are. And we don't have 3Ds.
Yeah.
What if we had 3Ds?
What if?
What if?
What
That's the
if?
type of things that I ask.
That's what we're titling this.
So it
What
keeps
if?
me up at night. What if?
You're just like your daddy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
What does your dad think about it?
He loves to do it. He wants to do it, but it's just difficult right now because it's hard to keep up with the high roller demand right now.
Yeah.
And we're investing in some different machinery and pouring machines and
Right.
things that we.
It takes a lot to
utilize.
manufacture.
To be able to handle the demand.
It's a
'cause
lot.
Yeah, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to manufacture anything.
And it takes a lot of cash flow for
That's right.
foam because you got to buy the chemicals up front.
Yeah.
So it
Mm.
takes you have to sit on that a little longer than what you would bag material.
It takes a lot of money to build stuff.
Right.
A lot of people don't understand that.
Right.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
So yeah,
I like that handle too.
That there's a reason we have that handle in there is because that's actually a 2-for-1 target. You get a 3D target and you can slide that off. You got the handle, you can take it to your camp.
oh wow.
That's what the handle's for.
I got you.
And you can move the 3D around a lot easier too.
Right. Yeah, mine I get it. You got to grab it, legs fall off, antlers fall off, the ear.
That's really genius.
It's already
though,
broke.
Because like more than likely, if I'm going out of state, I might not take the whole deer,
Right.
but I might slide that
Slide it
insert
off.
out.
That is a pretty good. That
Slide
is a
off.
good
Then you
idea.
just- truck.
Because now you don't have to buy a bag when you're out of state and you forgot yours,
You're right.
like we always do. You can just have that with you, and when you're home, you just slide it back in. You got a 3D target.
That's a good idea.
100%.
Y'all think outside the box.
Did you come
here.
up with that idea?
I did not.
Okay.
I will not take. I will not take.
Who came up with that idea?
Our one of our foam pourers.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
It is.
Definitely give them props.
Yep. So where do you see the company going? What do you want to do? You want to expand it into the 3D stuff? I mean,
Dude, I would like to expand it into 3D stuff. I would like to break some more international sales. I think that's our next big pivot.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all sell?
So I mean, we're at a point now where we're in so many different dealers. I mean, we've been doing this since '86,
Right.
So
The name is established.
yeah,
Well established.
yeah. So, I mean, that's our next market, the international game, figuring all that out. But I mean, we're at a point where every chain store, every dealer has known the name, purchased the targets at one point or another. So the whole domestic game is just rekindling relationships that we may have lost, gaining new stores that just open up. But outside of that, I mean, there's really nothing else to shoot for.
Right.
Do you see the target industry getting maybe more competitive, or do you think it's one of the deal where everybody's in their own lane? What's your take on that?
I think it's definitely getting more competitive. I think a lot of our competitors have tried to work with the price points.
Yeah.
I think that they're trying to undercut a lot of the times. I think that's one of their ammunition, just because the brand recognition is harder to come by. It's an easy bullet, quick bullet.
I mean, a lot of folks nowadays just want a target and they just pick a target. You walk into Bass Pro Shop or something, there's targets everywhere. You really don't know what to buy. I look at colors a lot and shapes. I mean, that's important to you guys.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah,
there's so many to choose from. So obviously colors is going to grab attention. So,
yeah. And that's a fine line to walk, because really people want what's functional.
Yeah.
However, we want to keep it functional, but we need to make it appealing initially.
Right.
So you got to blend the two somehow.
Right.
So we do that a lot with different brands, or like different SKUs.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have one SKU that's really driven, like the Mod Pro, for those people that want the functionality. Then we have the other brands that are people that are just getting into bow hunting and they just need something to shoot at. So, I mean, we got to sell them, right?
Right.
So just to get this straight, because some people might not understand what you mean when you say we got some brands. So y'all
Talking about
have,
models.
it's basically models, as in like the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
That's like a whole line.
That's a whole line.
And it has a bunch of different items and things that
Mhm.
fall under it.
Mhm.
You know, how many different
Bag
brands
related.
would you say y'all are rocking with right now?
4.
Four major
main,
lines.
Four
Yeah,
main
four-
lines.
4
And,
major
and,
lines.
and each line is going to be a price point, obviously.
Right.
Or a
Gotcha.
different objective, you know.
It's really
customer-based
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it starts with probably Yellow Jacket, the value side, and then it goes into the High Roller series, and then probably the BOA line, and then Transformers.
What about moisture? You know, I got a lot of targets that just gather up moisture over the years.
So
what do y'all do about
here's
moisture?
here's how we combat that. We first have a polypropylene that's UV protected to an extent. No target is UV.
It's brutal.
Yeah, I mean it's UV rays.
I think that's what's wrong with most 3D targets. They stay out in the sun all year and they
100%. You know, if people actually took them in, if they took their targets in, they would triple the life of the target.
And that's for all the target manufacturers.
That sun
Now, I'm
eats
not
them
talking
up.
about just looks. I'm talking about functionality because
Yeah.
that sun does it.
Yeah,
Eats the actual product
Yeah.
up.
Right.
all
And
the
then now
material
you're,
that's
you know,
made
the material's weaker and it's just, you know, because like you leave
That's
like a 3D target out there, like over the course of summer.
Yeah, that's why
It's brittle.
that's
you
why
know,
I'm
it
our
feels like.
target. I mean, our target. That's stay out in the sun. So it's not their fault. It's probably my fault.
Well, I mean, there's user error involved, I'm sure.
Absolutely. So,
Do y'all- so like as far as like, I don't know if necessarily warranty. Like, do y'all do any kind of warranty? Because technically, it's like something you shoot. So like, I don't really know how. Like, what would be considered warranty? Say for a
target.
like your like 3D target. Like say
I mean,
say
any kind of warranty.
yeah,
I mean,
you're
how do you
doing
warranty a target?
that's it's kind of like a. I wouldn't even
It's-
think there would be warranty. Personally, I wouldn't think there would be.
It's kind of discretionary. With our high end items, we know how long that they last for.
Oh, I got you.
If you buy anything of ours and it's under a year and you're just blowing through it, you know, we're probably going to take care of you.
I got you.
You know, and it just depends on how many shots you're doing. Some people will buy it, and then in 2 months we can take a look at the target and they've shot 10,000 shots in it and they want a new target. It's like, try and get 10,000 shots out of any target.
Golly, are you
10,000
serious?
shots. That dude's got a crazy tricep and whatever
Right.
muscle back there it
Dude,
is.
there was this guy that sent in a picture. Super cool. I wish I had it, but he showed a Supreme range, and he's shooting traditional. Keep that in mind. That's lower FPS, but he showed the first picture. And he's like, "Hey, I just thought you guys should know I actually keep record of every single shot." And he's at like 30,000. And I was like, "Dude, that is awesome. Keep
30,000?
letting us know." The dude got up to like 80,000, and then we sent him a new target. I was like, "Dude, that's exceptional."
I couldn't even imagine what a target looks like that's been shot.
How did he keep up with
80,000
records?
times.
Like a dang crappie counter or something? or what?
He actually had. We told him.
I'm just serious, man. How do you do that? I mean, who would think
He
of
had an
doing
Excel
that?
spreadsheet.
And for what reason? Like
He
that guy,
was retired.
that guy is special.
He's legit though.
He was retired and legit. Yeah.
He's legit. I mean,
That's
you
some serious
shoot
stuff.
80,000 times. You're pretty serious.
I mean, that guy has life figured out. If that's what he wakes up and worries about.
he's Rambo status with that.
I mean,
recurve.
you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
who wakes up and thinks about this? Let's build an Excel spreadsheet on how many times I can shoot this target.
That's
Well,
cool though. I
man,
like.
that's-
You know what?
That's dude special.
That's awesome though.
It's like shooting a bow, and this is why I think the archery industry soared during COVID is because it's an isolation sport. It's meditative,
Mhm.
dude. It's just you and that target, and you can't think about anything else. You're gonna make a bad shot, so you got to focus in on that bullseye and that bullseye alone. When you fire those shots, I mean, you got to be in a meditative like trance state. So
It's really relaxing in a way.
yeah, absolutely.
It is. It's pretty cool.
So do you shoot compound bow or
Yeah,
recurve?
dude,
or-
I haven't really dabbled in.
At
any
what
of the
point do you see
traditional style.
yourself? Do you see yourself ever dabbling in traditional stuff?
Maybe when I get older.
Maybe after you completed.
You
all
think
that
it's
stuff.
you think it's
Compounds are still cool, man. I'm trying to be 24. You know.
Well,
well, I promise you, I don't shoot no recurve.
I don't either. I've tried or
Yeah.
something. I realized real quick I was not ready.
No.
You
Yeah,
know, that's like more
Dude,
of
it's
a mental
difficult.
thing.
for sure.
Because like you have to be mentally tough enough to go through the dog days of getting good enough to be even go hunting in first place, and then being
Well, it's a whole new level of killing animals and doing what you enjoy doing. I mean, you normally kill a lot of, you've killed a lot of stuff. You've conquered a lot of goals, I guess, hunting, whether it's a 140s or 150s, 160s, and you get bored and you're ready to challenge yourself. I'm just not to that point in my life.
Just rekindle the fire with something new.
No, you're not going to catch me going out there with a spear or a recurve yet. I'm not there yet.
You guys ever watch Joel Turner?
No.
I've shot IQ.
Mm-mm.
That dude's a beast.
What does he do?
Really?
I mean, he'll teach you how to shoot a bow.
Really?
Yeah, he'll teach you how to shoot a bow, especially, traditional style bows.
I mean, I like this stuff. I'm just not ready.
Well, his son, Bodie Turner, I mean, he won Vegas twice. The NFA shoot.
So you're into this stuff. So you shoot.
His whole life's bows.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Targets, You
like boats, don't you, B-Scott?
Well, I mean, I know. I tell you, I would generally
who won the closest speed race.
Oh man, it depends on which one we're talking about. Yesterday, it was. We got the whole. Today, we got the whole.
He's just worried about what he's doing.
Right, bows. It's the same, but it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got your circles and your circles that connect to your circles.
Yeah, we
bows and stuff.
Yeah, we got fast boats and slow boats. I mean, we got this kind of the same thing.
We got different. You call them brands. We call them models.
We got heavy duty models. We got light duty models.
Like price models, same stuff.
Yeah.
And like you said, I don't know if it's just because of maybe just the way the economy is, inflation and whatnot. The price point stuff, the cheaper stuff, just really soared the last, couple of years, just because
especially last year,
people are hurting for money, worse than they have been.
Especially this year, we sold a lot of inexpensive models because of interest rates and stuff. So
did y'all see something very similar to that? Maybe
we have a theory that Targets is kind of inflation proof to an extent.
I can
because
see that.
you think about it, you got to practice because you got to get the meat on the table. So everybody's like, "What do you do in a pandemic?" You're like, "We got to start hunting because it's free."
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the grocery store and buy some beef when I can just go outside
that's
and
a good
shoot
point.
deer.
It'd be like building toilet paper.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with toilet paper?
People are always going to buy it.
You can get leaves outside.
I don't know,
Why is
man.
everybody buying that's a luxury item to me.
Y'all remember when all toilet paper went out? What was up with that? Why were people doing that?
Oh, I don't
They
know.
do it every time
Why
they think
though?
something's going to happen.
Like, that's the last thing I'm thinking about.
Well, I guess I just don't want
Toilet paper and meat.
to. I don't know. I mean,
Toilet paper and meat.
Yeah, you see people buying milk. I'm like, milk don't last no time. Every time I check, that stuff's gone, expired.
I don't know why people do that. Milk, bread, and toilet paper.
I mean, how many people
Eggs.
honestly
Eggs, yeah.
get through
Eggs
their
is a
gallon
good
of
one.
milk that they buy
So
before it expires?
Targets are similar to that.
You know what I mean?
Everybody needs targets to shoot their bows.
Absolutely right.
Makes sense. Nobody needs a boat.
No, I got to start practicing here pretty soon.
Oh, yeah.
Because I got
you got a bow hunt coming up in
for the mule deer hunt.
Yep.
I think I need to be good up to probably
80 yards or so.
60 or 70 yards.
80.
But let me tell you something. I'm not bad. Don't get me wrong. I would say I'm.
I bet you're.
You got a dial sight?
Yeah, I do. So I got the 2 stationary pins. I got those on 20 and 30, and then from 40 is where I keep the dial one, and then I just go from there. But I don't shoot nothing over. I don't shoot nothing over 40 yards.
Do you guys build a target for long range, like a oversized target?
Oh yeah.
All right, that's what I need.
Yeah.
I need that for like the 20-yard pin.
There's one.
just kidding.
That's 35 inches.
Oh wow!
But there's a bigger one. It's the FIDA one. It's a big circle.
So
yeah, I
That's
definitely need
49 inches.
all right, so you shoot through the hole.
Or 52.
No,
So-
the
That's the plug.
Oh
yeah,
The-
go straight in the center
You
of
can
it.
use a high roller. Use any small high roller, and that can be your plug.
Hey, that's
And
pretty
some
neat.
of the high
That's
rollers are
pretty neat.
square, and some of them are rounded. The rounded will fit. It's just not flush.
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah, you,
So
right. I know what you mean.
it's fine. It works, but people want the square.
I mean, you want it to
naturally,
match.
You want it,
You want it to
flush.
look right.
You want it to
know.
look good.
Because like if you got that set up, more than likely your buddies are coming over. Y'all are stretching it out. You're gonna be betting money.
Yep. Yeah.
So you want that thing flushed up.
Yeah.
I get it.
I think we should get one of these and have a little competition, a little video.
I think so too. Well, for one, I need one of those because I don't want to lose 3 arrows trying to figure out where my 70's at.
Mm-hmm.
You know
I
what
think
I
we
mean?
should stretch it out to 100, 150.
150.
Why not? That's a big enough target, right? Maybe.
You might need the FIDA one for that.
He needs about 4.
Unless
of
you
those.
can You
Y'all
can
got-
really plug.
Hey, do you got any of those where the notch out is actually in the bottom left corner so that we can just take 4 of them, make it super huge for when we stretch it out to 150? You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, we
Like
can
a
figure
big
some-
wall, the giant wall, the mega wall.
Well, technically, you could just stack those right next to each other.
Yeah, that'd work. That's pretty cool. I ain't never seen that before.
that's true.
Yeah, it's in 35 inches and 24 inches.
And all that is foam glued together, or
Yeah, it's actually the sidewalls. Yeah, it's kind of layered there.
Yeah.
Those are completely fused walls.
and it's rated for how fast?
What the high roller or the sidewalls?
The sidewalls.
The sidewalls.
I mean, it can be
I mean, you shoot.
to something high 200s
Okay.
probably. I mean, it'll stop it.
Yeah, that's good.
And I could be wrong on that.
More than likely, you're shooting a distance. You're not, you're losing a lot of
It's
velocity.
not going
by
to drive
time.
it in there anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's
it may be 350. Yeah.
You know, I've seen those on videos of being like kind of like backstop type deals,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know that. I didn't know you could slide a cube in there.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. I have like 2 of those high rollers.
Yeah.
I have the rounded ones though. Mine are.
Yeah.
'Cause I like to actually throw them out there.
Mm-hmm. So if you want the squared one, you just have to call in for it
I got you.
or buy one, the center punch. But you're not going to do that. You can actually just buy the shell.
So you guys pour that? You pour the center?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have machines to do all that?
Yes.
I got you.
Yeah.
So you guys got a pretty big operation.
We have a little over 200,000 square foot.
Wow. That's a nice place.
Yeah. And they're scattered amongst.
And do y'all
maybe
do
4 or
everything
5
in house?
locations.
Do y'all do everything in house there, like the actual pouring and all that,
Yes.
the molding and stuff?
Yes.
I got
Mm.
you.
Yeah.
How many employees you guys got?
We fluctuate anywhere between 60 to 110.
Wow. Yeah, that's about our size.
That's exactly how it is. Yeah, up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, it's seasonal.
Yeah, it
So-
is. Yes.
Like hunting season, everybody wants to go. You know,
When's y'all's slow
take us out
season?
of there.
When's y'all's slow season?
I would say January to June, but inside of that there are peaks. Turkey season being one.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little peak there, and then outside of that is probably the slow season, but it really picks up in June
Yeah.
because that's when people start practicing
Yeah.
and it gets hot and it's time to shoot.
Yeah.
Get ready for
Oh,
the
I
season.
know, man. That's
I mean, you
brutal
got-
early
you-
bow
you-
season down south.
You need 3 good months to be fully confident, I believe.
Yeah.
But it's best to do it.
How many
year-round.
guys do you know that actually do that to practice, 3 months up to it? I mean,
maybe 8 to 10% of bow hunters.
yeah.
How many people you know that just roll up and just shoot like 2 arrows and they're like, I'm dialed.
A lot. I'm
Like
one.
99%.
I'm one of them.
90% of them. I mean,
I'm like,
Do you-
oh shit, fire! It's I
You-
think bow season starts in the morning. Hey, where's my bow at?
you
Yeah.
either thoroughly enjoy shooting your bow and you go competitions, you shoot
Mhm.
all the time, just to relax, or
Yeah.
you shoot that thing once or twice before you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
There's like hardly no median.
But I still believe to this day a bow hunter can make a shot most of the time over
Yes.
a gun hunter because the bow hunting is so routine. It's the same thing: anchor,
Mhm.
pull point, anchor point, pull point, anchor point.
And think about
It's
how many shots
muscle
you'll
memory.
shoot.
Well, the only problem with that is movement in the animal.
Yeah, yeah,
They can't react to a bullet, but they can react to an arrow.
that's right.
Depending on your distance. even
Nowadays,
worse.
yeah, you're right. You're
I
right.
seen a video that helped me a lot the other day. It was a short, and I can't remember who it was, but it was explaining, like for example, deer, ducking your arrow, and if their head is up, it's super hard for them to actually duck it because they have to use the gravity to drop.
Mhm.
But if their head's down, they throw their head up to hunker and kind of push on their back legs. That's how they're able to drop so fast, is because they sling their head up and actually gives it some.
Where did you see that growing deer?
I don't remember what video it was.
Dude.
Did you see a video like
The
that?
best, yeah, I've seen tons of videos like that, but the best illustrations that I found that people try to explain all that type of stuff is
Right.
growing deer. You gotta check them out. They're pretty cool. Grant, we work with him, and he does excellent demonstrations of all that stuff. That like the science behind deer ducking arrows and what yardage and what angles and all that.
Oh, there's tons to
Pretty
it.
cool.
Like reading the body language of the deer too. Like if you're fixing to shoot a doe and she's, you can tell that she's checking stuff around. She's kind of alert. She knows,
Mhm.
she thinks something's there, but she's not pins you down or nothing. Doesn't smell you or nothing. Man, she get you.
Yo, every
You
time.
better put it in the armpit, dude.
Every time.
Yeah.
They get up and out of the way. So
I've done my share of missing. I promise you when it comes to shooting deer.
it's a learning curve.
I missed like 12 times one time I first started.
Before you killed your first deer with a bow?
I think so. I just wasn't picking a spot, you know. I was young. I was probably 18, 16, 17, something like that. And I just missed.
I think Dad has a similar story.
Yeah, and I just kept missing because I just wasn't picking a spot, you know. I just shooting. You see a deer and you just shoot at it and you miss.
Well, you got to fight that little voice in your head that says, "Oh, it's just somewhere in there."
Yeah.
Like that little just squeeze it somewhere in there. Just squeeze it. You know that little voice. You can't listen to him.
Yeah.
You way off, dude. You missing.
Yeah. Hey, I think we should team up and do some marketing together. I mean, we love the bow hunt. You guys build targets, and do you guys fish, duck hunt? I mean, what do y'all do?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we do.
Y'all do all that?
Yeah, we do it all.
Well, this is a good combination.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Dad, he did Jimmy Houston actually designed a lake for him on his property, and he's got lunkers in there, man.
Oh, wow. Oh
my gosh.
Shit. All right. What size bow do you guys like? You know what I mean? That's all you had to say. We could have skipped the podcast. You know?
Lunkers. We're talking about lunkers.
Oh, we all about catching big fish.
Yeah.
What kind of fish you got in there?
It's just largemouth.
Largemouth?
Now.
What size?
I think he's got some brim in there.
Really? Got any 10-pound plus fish? in there?
Lunkers?
Yeah.
You said lunkers?
Well, I know.
Maybe not quite lunkers.
I mean, some-
They're
10
big.
pounders.
Yeah.
There's probably a few in there.
All right, well, sign us up. Where do we sign up at? We're good.
Liability. We'll sign whatever liability we swing. Whatever.
I'm sure you'll have some boat agreements in there.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. We got to
Hey,
stack it.
matter of fact, we'll give you a tour before you leave.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Now we're ate up with fishing. Whenever springtime comes and then we're not hunting, man, we're fishing. We're hunting or fishing.
Yeah.
Year round.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever's in season, we're going after.
That's right.
You guys ever go to Louisiana?
Oh yeah.
Go to the bayou?
Oh,
Oh
Fish-
yeah.
fish
We
there?
went out. We actually went alligator hunting this year with Jay Paul and his father from Swamp People,
Mm-hmm.
and we killed 12 gators, and that was an experience.
Yeah.
No, I bet.
They
I bet I
stink
love
really.
But
They stink
I
really
learned
bad.
a lot, but I didn't realize alligators stunk so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I was gagging the whole time in the boat. It was horrible.
Yeah.
They were
They were butchering it in the
no,
they-
the alligators threw up in the boat, man.
They threw up in the boat.
Yes.
So
I didn't know that.
They aged. So the bait isn't just chicken. They take the chicken and they let it. They age it for like a certain amount of time.
Uh-huh.
Get it real stinking, right? And then when you catch these alligators, when you kill them,
Oh, so it's
They
not really the
release-
alligator, it's what they eat.
Yeah,
yes,
what he-
they release
yeah. And they're-
what's in their stomach.
they throw
what's
up
in
in
their
the boat.
stomach.
Yeah.
I told Beach guys, we're gonna have to. I don't know who's gonna clean this boat. It's not gonna be me, but whoever cleans this boat, I think was just gonna throw it away or something. It was so bad.
They
It was
just-
so bad.
Yeah. I would kill to have their digestive enzymes.
Hmm.
They just eat anything.
I don't know.
Well,
Absolutely
what I
anything.
learned was that they don't actually eat them there. The people that do that, like all the time,
Yeah.
don't actually eat the gators. And the reason being is they call them the buzzard of the water.
Yeah, they're like, we don't
I'm
eat
like-
alligator.
That makes sense.
I always thought it was good, like eating alligator tail.
Even an alligator tail, That's what I thought it was.
And I said, we're gonna take an alligator tail home. And said, well, we don't eat them. I said, well, if y'all don't eat them, I'm not eating them.
Yeah, because y'all know a lot more about it than we do.
Yeah, it was
They're not
nasty.
they're not eating the gators?
No, so they do it commercially for a living.
I guess because they catch so many alligators, they just don't want to eat them. Maybe.
I don't know.
But y'all have had gators.
We've
I
had
mean, we've had gator in restaurants and stuff.
Yeah,
I thought it was
liked
great.
right?
I thought it was
liked
great.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
but
got
you
to
know-
cook it right.
But now
Otherwise,
we're relating a smell, a stank. We're relating a stank to the meat. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So
but these things stink.
I
Great
couldn't
stuff.
burn it off my hands.
No,
Got on my hands. I couldn't burn it.
I got bleach and everything on my hands. I smelled it for days.
That's pretty bad.
It was bad.
Yeah, you need that oil soap.
Oh, no.
yeah.
Like
The orange bottle.
the mechanics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
orange
the
bottle
mechanics
that
soap.
got
Yeah,
the
yeah,
grit,
yeah.
the grit in it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only thing that'll take away fish smell.
Oh man,
Mm.
yeah. It's bad stuff, man. I don't like that stuff.
But yeah,
Well, man, it was awesome.
we're ate up with it. Next thing I got coming up is gonna be the mule deer hunt, and I gotta get ready for that. So that's actually a month away.
Yeah, you need to take a target out there with you.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll start practicing. Getting the shots ready. You start, hitting the gym
Look like
hard and heavy because we got
Look at him.
because we got some hiking to do.
I thought he was like 24, 25 years old.
You wear it well. You wear it well.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
You know, what do you say, 39 or 38?
36.
Gosh, dang, man, you look good. Hey, all buffed up and crap.
Man, I appreciate that.
You pulling all the arrows out, man.
Yeah, you're only like, I'm 45. I look like a damn old man compared to you. What the hell's going on?
So
What do you eat?
Different? Is that what it
Like,
is?
what are you eating?
I eat a lot of protein.
Protein?
Yeah, I would
no
die if you
sugar.
said gator, just a little bit gator meat.
Gator meat.
Gator meat?
That'll really do it.
I'm eating that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you just what protein? Are you the guy that counts your chips?
Well, I
and
mean,
stuff?
you got to go to the gym. You
Yeah.
can't avoid that.
You go to the gym every day?
I go to the gym about 5-6 days a week.
Gosh almighty, where did the drive come from? I mean, what in your brain says, hey, this is a fun time?
Energy.
He's addicted to
Is it energy?
Energy. The second I turned like 32, my energy started just dropping.
And
So-
you made a change right there. Something snapped in your brain, says, hey, I gotta get myself in
Well,
shape here.
No, that's when I knew I needed to get in shape, but it doesn't mean I got in shape at that point.
Really?
I probably got in shape this year.
So you just started pumping iron this year?
No, it's been a grind.
Probably
is
like
what I'm saying.
March. Yeah, March.
Oh wow. You are dedicated to it.
It'll
So now
change.
are you addicted to it?
Now it feels good. Yeah, you crave it.
Oh my God.
It's energy.
It's all made up.
It does. No, your body. No, it's not made up.
This
Because when
is
I used
made
to
up.
lift a bunch of weights, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, your body's gonna make the energy that it knows you need.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you're just riding around the truck or doing whatever you're doing,
So you wake up early in the morning, you're like, hey, I can't wait.
No,
to the
I actually
gym?
do it after work.
yeah,
It's
pretty
amazing.
dedicated.
After
Amazing.
work.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
dedicated.
amazing.
Well,
Wish I had that drive.
And diet. Diet is
Uh,
probably equally as important.
that's horrible though. You know
You
it.
need to talk to our cameraman.
is.
Our cameraman, David. I'm trying to motivate him to go to the gym.
He wants to, but he just
He needs to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, look
You
here.
should.
He looks like he's 24 and he's almost 40. He's the same age we are. We look like shit compared to him. I mean,
Hey, y'all just
Good
wait
Lord.
till Friday when I roll up in.
golly.
I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm ready. You know, I'm gonna be so beat down.
I'm gonna take a picture of you.
Dude, my eye bags. I'm watching
take a
things.
picture
Dude,
of
they're
you?
growing by the
What
hour.
are you taking a picture for?
I got to show people. It's like, hey, guess how old this guy is? I could probably win money on this. You know what? They're gonna say, he's 24.
Oh,
That's,
yeah.
that's what he's gonna say. Hey, he looks younger than you, B. Scott.
It's hard life, dude. It's hard life.
I
See, he
hear
got
you.
he on his end. He got to do targets. You know what I mean?
Well, what did you get to do?
Build boats, work with you all the time. Stressful.
You got to wake up at 1, go drive anywhere to go duck hunt.
Yeah, yeah.
I know it, man. It's tough.
I hear you. I hear you.
Man, we appreciate you coming. dude.
Oh, we had a
Yeah,
good
man.
time, man. It's
It-
fun.
It's awesome to learn about the beginning of how it all began. I think it's cool that your father, started.
I wanted
this
to
garage.
go meet your dad. I want to meet
Yeah.
your dad. I mean, that'd be
He's
cool.
character, man.
I do too, especially because we kind of got the same ordeal going on here.
Mhm.
You think you can arrange that for us to come up and tour the plant and
Yeah.
meet your dad and meet you and your family?
Yeah.
That'd be cool because it seems like it'd be a fun time.
Yeah. We ought to do that. Throw some steaks on, split
Yeah.
a bottle of bourbon.
That'd be cool.
So okay, that you definitely next time we have the podcast this is off the clock. All right.
Yeah.
The next one's gonna be the uncensored, unedited version,
Oh yeah.
and we'll even have some. We might bring some gator in here. Get real wild.
Hey,
Get real crazy
hey.
in here.
I'm in. You bring the gator, man.
You want it live or dead?
Both.
Well, we know the people to get it anyway.
That's right. Well, man, we appreciate it. It was awesome, and I'm looking forward to working with you further in the future. I think
Sounds
that
good.
It'd be cool. I'd like to hear the rest of the story.
Absolutely.
There's more to it.
there's definitely more. It's always
Man, you talk targets. We all afternoon.
Yeah.
All afternoon.
That's the same way with us with boats, man. It just never stops,
Yeah.
To us, it's exciting. Everybody else is boring,
Yeah.
that's exactly right.
Yeah. 100%.
exactly right.
100%.
Well, guys, I think that's going to wrap things up. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and we'll see you on the next one.